Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. And today we're going to continue the same video that we had yesterday where we went through our gameplay for the Runeterra Open. So yesterday we got to see 4 matches. Today we'll get to see the remaining of the 5 matches that we play for the Runeterra Open. So again, it's going to be a pretty much longer video of me kind of walking over and talking over the way that I played this past weekend. It's a little bit weird because I'm not used to watching my own gameplay over again. So I kind of feel like you guys do when you guys watch me play. I'm like, oh man, some of these plays are kind of cringy. Why did I do that, right? Some of them are like, yeah, I'm so smart. Good thing I did that. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of like a different experience of me instead of just me walking and talking through my plays. Now, again, we have 4 more matches today, right? We ended up going 9-1 overall in the whole tournament. So I guess let's just jump right ahead. This video is really going to be long enough, so no reason for me to keep talking. But remember, if you like our video and our content, make sure to like it below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. So, the first match we're going to start today is going to be against Matonico, who's another really good Americas player, right? And just like we talked about yesterday, I see exactly what I want to see, right? I see one Warden of the Tribes deck at the very least. This is not Heimer Jace, but at least we have one of the targets. Now, my lineup doesn't do too well against other elusive decks, especially this version of Teemo, because they play Skip, right? And Skip can be really annoying against the rest of my deck. So I opted to, instead of banning the Jace, the Jax Ornn, just ended up banning the elusive, so I don't have to deal with it. So here, again, the game plan is still the same. We're trying to beat the Warden deck twice at least, so that we can just go through and go from there. So let's take a look and see how this matchup goes. So we start with the Nidalee. We start with Ekko Jinx. I don't know why I said Nidalee. We always start with Ekko Jinx to give ourselves 2 chances in case that it breaks. So we go Ekko Jinx versus Jax. Now, versus Warden of the Tribes. Now, we have the Ekko, we have the Voice of the Risen, which is exactly what I want to see. And we keep the whole hand. Wow. I don't know about keeping Time Trick. I like keeping Chronomancer. I think keeping Tantric is a little bit greedy. I like keeping the boys, and I like keeping the Ekko. Keeping Tantric was a little bit crazy, but we end up getting the Scrying Sands, so we end up getting rewarded anyways, and get the things that we need, right? So at this point, we just need to build ourselves a board, so that we actually have a board presence when we go for our big Voice of the Risen, right? So here we can just pass. I was debating whether attacking, you know, it doesn't matter. The annoying part against the Broadwind is the fact that the Ekko really doesn't do anything against the Broadwind, right? Sorry, not the Ekko, the Scrying Sands does nothing against the Broadwind. So at this point, I'm like, okay, if you want to attack here, I'm completely fine with this, right? Like, I'm completely cool with this because we want to get that Broadwind low enough that it cannot kill our Ekko once we level up. We end up getting the Quicksand anyway, so even if the opponent has like a quick attack, a single combat here, or a Cataclysm, like if they go like, let's say, Sky Splitter into a single combat, it doesn't matter. They won't be able to kill my Ekko anymore because we have the Quicksand. But it also means that we don't get to level up our Ekko, right? Now, if they try to Cataclysm or single combat with their 4-drop, then it's a little bit different. We'll have the Scrying Sands to deal with it anyways. We don't have to do the Quicksand. So here, opponent ends up just tapping out of mana. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to get the attack with Ekko and just call it. Let's get the free Time Trick. It's a little bit weird because the Time Trick is 2 mana, right? So you kind of feel like a little bit odd about playing that. We do have the Feral Presence here. Since we just drew with the Time Trick, I like doing the Feral Presence. And I think here, what I'm thinking is, okay, if we have like a Vital Negation, if we have a Vital Negation, we can stop a Cataclysm. But if we have a Mystic Shot, we can kind of stop that Broadwind from putting any value. And I end up choosing the Mystic Shot because of that, right? So we have the Ekko leveled up. We have the Scrying Sands in our hand, which can help us from these 2 units being able to kill us. And we're about to have this Voice of the Risen coming down soon, right? So at this point, and like I have the Voice of the Risen, I have the Ekko. What I should do here is kind of what we did in one of the matches from yesterday, where I need to just pass, right? I end up going ahead and playing the Voice of the Risen anyways, but we don't want to block here because we don't want to start blocking with our units until after we have our I'm okay blocking one. I'm okay blocking trading for the 4 power unit with one of their guys because it's one less blocker. But ideally, you don't want to block until you get your chrono break, right? So that you can bring your stuff back. We do have access to technically block here with the Scrying Sand. The opponent's going to force the hand and just attack with everything, which I think is kind of crazy. What this tells me is that they might have like a Sky Splitter. They get back to 3 mana, so I'm like, okay, well, if I go like this, if the opponent has the Sky Splitter, they can kill the Voice of the Risen, right? Which is a big deal. And I guess I end up not playing for it correctly. So looking back at this, I probably should have played around the Sky Splitter, because that will get the Broadwind to the 4 health that it needs to kill the Voice of the Risen. There's no other reason for them to do that unless they have a Sky Splitter. What I needed to do was probably just Mystic Shot, just save the Mystic Shot for the Broadwind. But I end up taking this line for whatever reason, so at least we'll get the Ekko hit and be able to kill that Gnar. But if the opponent can kill this Broadwind, then this card trades for free and doesn't actually kill the Weapon Master. Ends up being a single combat instead, which is fine, I guess. That's better than what I thought, because that means I still keep my Voice of the Risen alive. Opponent still gets the level of Gnar, but they don't get the Pokey Stick anymore. And we get to keep kind of the rest of our units alive. So it could be worse, right? We end up hitting the Chrono Break right away, and I'm chilling now. I'm kind of like, okay, well, we had the Chrono Break. Now, I should be concerned here about the Quicksand, or the Harsh Wind, sorry. So if the opponent has Harsh Winds, it should be a little bit scary. I wonder if I play around it or if I just go for it. It sounds like I'm just gonna go for it. The fact that I just play, okay, well, I'm just a good gamer. I'm just such a good gamer, right? I just hit the 3rd drop border. Sometimes you just gotta be a good player. Sometimes you gotta just be a good player, and we are a good player. So opponent still has access to Harsh Winds, right? And the Harsh Winds is a big deal because the Harsh Winds, like, unless the opponent blocks the Harsh Wind targets, it means that we can't really do much, right? I'm such a good player. I just hit that 3rd drop border just like that. So we kind of just high rolling. We're kind of high rolling here against Mechanical. We get all the drop borders. We get the Voice of the Risen. We get the Ekko, and we already got our first Chrono Break, and we even have the Quicksand, which means that we feel very safe here, that I'm not gonna die to anything that the opponent does. Opponent could have like a single combat here to stop the Voice of the Risen. They end up not blocking it, right? So they go down to 5 HP, which is kind of crazy too, in my opinion. Like, I don't think I care about anything that you have here. I just go Chrono Break. And even if you have a single combat or a Cataclysm, we have Quicksand, right? To protect our unit. So there shouldn't be any way for me to die here. The only thing that stops us, again, is like a single combat on the stack. But the single combat on the stack still gets punished by the Mystic Shot or the Quicksand. At this point, it's probably just punished by the Quicksand. So very quick and easy game, just because we end up high rolling with this deck, and that's kind of what's gonna happen sometimes. Ekko Jinx, sometimes it's gonna high roll, sometimes it's gonna low roll. That's why you want to play it twice right away, so that you get the chances of high rolling even better, right? So we got the first matchup that we wanted, and we were able to win it. So now we have the Nidalee deck trying to beat the Warden deck or the Jackson on. Opponent ends up picking the Warden deck again. So again, favorable matchup according to the stats. And we know from playing this matchup yesterday that all we care about here is having these big Tycoons and this value imitation. Now, I end up passing on the Tycoon just because I don't see the Nidalee. And I think that's actually a misplay, right? I think, again, I want to have the Tycoon with the value imitation combo. We end up not getting the value imitation anyways. So maybe it ends up not being a big deal. But now this hand, I feel, is a lot different than other hands where I played this matchup. So I'm like, oh, well, I have this really weird hand now. And I'm like, what do I do, right? Like, I'm just going to go more aggressive, I guess. And that's what I end up doing. I end up just playing this Hawk. I end up playing the other Transform. I'm just going to go for like this more aggressive approach where I just try to kind of aggro the opponent down because we have these Halunatis that would allow us to go wide, right? And I'm playing really fast. You can see how fast I'm playing based on how I'm moving my keyboard back and forth. And we finally get the invitation. And again, the invitation is such a punish because if we had the Tycoon here, I could play this completely different, right? Like, if I would have kept the Tycoon in my hand, this matchup could be completely different. Opponent has this 3-4 unit on the field as well, so it's kind of like a little bit frustrating on how I can push this damage. But we end up being good players again, and we end up getting exactly what we need, which is the Tycoon. So we end up attacking with everything. I still kind of want to push a lot of damage into the opponent. So we end up pushing 8 damage here. And the opponent ends up blocking the 3-3 to get the favorable block and keep the unit alive, right? So we have options now for next time. We can go for the Value Imitation, or we can go for more Halunatis, and again, just continue going wide. I wonder which way I end up going for. Okay, yeah, with this Tycoon and this Imitation, it's going to be pretty crazy. Yeah, I go ahead and just play the Imitation. I'm like, you know, whatever. Whatever. I cannot play the Transform unit here, right? Because if I play it, it just means that I'll transform the Bally, and then the opponent can drag the Bally with the Browwind, right? So I kind of just have to wait. Opponent gets to push 8 damage here, which is kind of annoying. Let's go for these Halunatis. We don't really have, like, if I had a cheap Knack Attack here, this would be so good. At this point, I have to try to just keep some semblance of, like, of a board presence, right? Like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm losing. So I'm trying to determine here what the best play is. And I guess before we even do it, I think we just develop Nidalee here. I think we develop Nidalee without the Transform. So I think the play here should be develop Nidalee, keep your Quicksand open, and just wait for next turn for the Tycoon. So let's see what we end up doing here. But I think that's the best play on what I'm seeing right here, because I feel transforming to the Halunatis right now is, I guess we can transform to the Halunatis, and that will leave me with 3 mana as well, and give me the 2 blockers, right? And I'm really thinking about this one hard, right? Compared to how fast we've been playing, and thinking about this one hard. I don't know. I think either one is correct. I guess either one can be good. Because regardless, the Halunatis gives us the blockers, the Nidalee gives us... But I feel like by having the Nidalee ends up being better for us. And this attack is like a throw, right? Because this attack is a throw. Because if the opponent has a Harsh Winds here, we just lose a whole board. So I didn't care about doing the Halunatis or the Nidalee, but attacking was definitely not the right play. Because we're not respecting the Harsh Winds whatsoever. So we're not respecting the Harsh Winds. We're not respecting a bunch of other stuff that the opponent might have. So I'm telling the opponent, if you have it, you have it. They end up not having it, and I end up pushing another 4 damage, and opponent goes to 7. But then the opponent ends up getting their big thing, right? So I wonder what I end up doing here. Because if I play a unit right now, so what I'm thinking in my head is like, if I don't play a unit and the opponent has Jarvan, I'm going to take a ton of damage, right? Like if I don't play a unit and the opponent has Jarvan, I'm going to take way too much damage because the Jarvan will attack with the Scout unit. Like I would take literally 6 damage and then die to the second impact trigger. So I'm like, okay, well, if this is a Jarvan, which lo and behold, it is, I needed to develop that Nidalee. But again, I shouldn't have attacked with the Halunatis to begin with. I should have been okay doing it the other way. Fortunately for us, we have this Quicksand, so we're able to do exactly like this and be able to kill both units. And what this allows me to do is that it delays my Tycoon turn, but it means that we're able to survive, right? Even if the opponent has a form up here, we can kill it with the Prowl. But if they have a Sky Splitter, then they will be able to survive. Well, I guess we will be able to play another unit. So even if they have the Sky Splitter here, they kill my Nidalee and have their Equipment Master survive, and then we can play another unit. I end up saying, no. Let's just go like this and just take the trade. Looking back at this, by the way, I think I end up liking that line, just killing both units. And then we just throw away the Bastaya. So we throw away the Bastaya here. Again, I don't want to go to 1, because if I go to 1, I'm going to lose to the impact. So here, we have to just give away the Bastaya. because we have this Tycoon in our hand, that we know the opponent's gonna be forced to block next turn. So some of these actions were a consequence of my misplay a couple turns ago, because we didn't respect the opponent's ability again to just have a big attack. Now, granted, maybe it was actually the right play because it forced him to have units, right? So we end up playing Tycoon here. We can play the Pyrophant or the Bastaya. It doesn't really matter, right? Like at this point, with double Tycoon, even if the opponent has Warden, I'm not losing this game anymore. Because we're going to have these big units that the opponent will not be able to attack through, right? So this 2024 is going to become even bigger once we play the second Tycoon on the field next turn. So we end up having just this huge value and kind of go from there. Now, if you see here, we have this big attack that the opponent has to block. But we also top deck a Prowl. So there's actually a lethal line here if the opponent gets greedy and ends up not blocking that I see, right? I wonder what I was looking through the history for. That's actually interesting. I wonder if what I was trying to check out there. So the opponent plays the Gnar. The good thing here is that both my units trade well into their units. So the opponent ends up just blocking with Gnar, doesn't block the other one, and then they get punished by the Prowl, just like how we just talked about. And that's exactly lethal, and we get the win. So a little bit of a bit more of a messy game. I think the first game was a lot better against Mechanical. This second game was a little bit more weird, and I feel like I could have played a little bit better. But that's how we end up winning match number 5. So at this point, this is my 5th match win, right? Because we saw 4 games yesterday, 1 today. I have the Prime Glory. So right now, I'm 6-0. 6-0, and I'm like chilling. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling myself. So then, let's go to match number, match number 7, right? And match number 7, lo and behold, we have a pretty long wait time here. And I'm like, oh man, why is this queue time so long? And when we finally get through the queue time, guess who we won against on the next match? It's Methodical again. So we just go against the same exact player we just beat. And I think that's something that Riot needs to look into, right? Like, I understand that if you saw, right? You saw the queue time. That queue time went for 5 minutes. So it probably tried to look for someone else to pair me up against. And after like waiting for so long, he probably decided, you know what? Let's just pair him up against the same player. We have no one else for these 2 people to fight. So we run it back, same matchup. We both had the same bans, where we both banned the Elusives. So now I'm thinking in my head, okay, we already won this matchup once. I need to win this matchup one more time. I just need to beat that Jarvan Warden deck twice. This time around, Methodical changes it up and starts with Orange Jats. Now, this is the first Orange Jats of the day that I play, but our hand doesn't look bad. We have the Bakai, we have the Voice of the Risen, so all we need is just to level up this Ekko and just have the board presence to just win the game. So this looks pretty good to me, right? This looks really good to me. We even get the Pharaoh Presence as well. So we go for Second Bakai here. We get the Chronomancer, so we get another predict already right off the bat. So we have 4 predicts already. So this is the level up on the Ekko. We go ahead and play the Chronomancer. Probably was better for me to just open attack, to be honest. So that I could get this 2-1 attack. Because if the opponent has a Jats here, the Jats goes to a 3-2. Fortunately for us, the opponent doesn't have it. I need to just attack. Why am I harboring the end round? Just attack. Yeah, like you want the opponent to sacrifice this unit. Thank you. Alright, so we get the 4 damage through. I'm glad I ended up not misplaying. I ended up taking the Elusive because I'm thinking, okay, you know, with the Voice of the Risen and the Elusive, that's pretty good for us, right? So here I'm looking to Tantric and Pharaoh Presence and trying to get that Ekko, right? I think here we just made a misplay. It had to be Time Trick first. So you always Time Trick first, in my opinion. So that if you get Ekko with the Time Trick, right? So if you get Ekko with the Time Trick, we can then go ahead and play Presence. Like if we don't get Ekko with the Time Trick, we have 1 less card in our deck for the Presence to potentially hit the Ekko. So I end up not hitting the Ekko, and I end up putting myself in a position where I'm gonna be kind of behind a little bit, right? We even end up blocking their unit, which I guess is fair. Ha, this is awkward. So we get the Ekko, right? So we get the Ekko at least at the next predict. So we can level up Ekko next turn and then have the Voice of the Risen. But we don't have any protection, right? We don't have any protection. The opponent's healing all the damage that I dealt through this game so far. So they're like back to 20 HP. We get to push some elusive damage here. In my head, I'm thinking we don't have Quicksand. We don't have Scrying Sands. If I play this Ekko now, I'm going to get hit by the Challenger, right? But right now, if you look at the opponent's board, like there's two things that worry me here. Fish Fight to kill the Ekko, and then the Challenger. Opponent doesn't have quick attack, right? So because they don't have quick attack, Ekko makes the most sense here. Because if the opponent kills the Ekko, we have Time Trick and another Time Trick. We have two Time Tricks to try to find that Chrono Break, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, even if they have the Challenger, we're able to just try to bring this stuff back, right? Now, this is a ton of damage. This is a ton of damage that I'm taking here. So I'm like, well, I don't want to take that much damage. So I'm gonna give you the trade here. That's why we blocked that one all those turns ago. So I'll give you the trade here. We can play the Time Trick after this attack so that we can, you know, get some value. The opponent ends up not taking the trade, just goes for the Elixir of Iron. And this game doesn't look so good, right? Because the opponent's still at 19 HP and already has this huge board. We get the Chrono Break, so we hit the Chrono Break. That's huge, right? We can go Chrono Break. We can go Voice of the Risen next turn. There's a lot of great value that we can get from this by just playing this Voice right now. We have these Elusives as well, which is going to allow me to push a lot of pressure into the opponent because, you know, Elusives. Elusives do elusive things, right? So I wonder if I attack with everything here. Like this game is looking good for us right now, right? This game is looking really good for us right now. The Jax Ornn, the Harsh Winds is a problem, but we do have this Chrono Break again, right? So the Harsh Winds is a problem because they are inferior. We have this Chrono Break to bring back our Ekko. I like just attacking with everything, right? Why wouldn't I attack with everything here? The Scout attack is so annoying though. I wonder if it was correct. If it was ever correct for us to block last turn with the Ekko so that we didn't have to deal with that Scout attack. It's a little bit annoying. So compared to that match that we saw today against Matanico, right? We haven't hit a single drop border, right? So we haven't hit a single drop border. We end up losing the Voice of the Risen, right? And then in my head, I'm like, well, man, I lose the Voice of the Risen. We still don't hit the drop border, but I do have this Quicksand. I probably want to just go ahead and attack again here, right? I want to just get my Voice of the Risen one more time. But now, notice what happens. The opponent didn't Harsh Winds the first attack, but they kept exactly 5 mana for the second attack. And I should have seen that. Looking back at this, I should have seen that. I'll go for the Presence first, see if we can get the drop border. We get the drop border. We should have seen this here and not attack with everything. Attacking with everything doesn't make sense anyways. Why would we attack with everything, right? There's no reason for me to ever attack with everything. Because if I lose the Voice of the Risen again, I don't have a way to revive her, right? I don't have a way to revive her. So attacking with the Voice of the Risen here is a mistake. And even attacking with the Ekko is a mistake because opponent has 5 mana. So Matanico baited me here, right? So Matanico baited me here. And I remember this one because I was so frustrated. So I vividly remember this. I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. So Matanico played this really, really freaking well. Because the first attack, they didn't commit the Harsh Winds, right? Other players will commit the Harsh Winds on the first attack. And just be like, yeah, I can just Harsh Winds right now and take all the trades right now. And just ignore the fact that you could already have that Chrono Break. Matanico played it so smart here. Ends up doing the Harsh Winds on the second attack. which means that we lose this block. We lose this time trick by the Ekko. If I just attack with the elusive here, I could have pushed the 4 damage and it still kept this Ekko alive. And this is where the match flips on its head, right? Before this attack, I felt really close. I feel really good about potentially winning. Because we have, look at what we have in our hand. We have 2 more augmented clocklings. And we also have this quicksand. So with the 2 augmented clocklings, we would have been completely fine, right? So here, I should have just used the Mystic Shot. I wonder if I go for it. Here, we should just block with the drop border and just Mystic Shot. But I think I'm still a little bit rattled from the Ekko turn last turn that I'm kind of still like thinking about what the right play is. But I definitely cannot take this damage. Like at this point, the Yats will come down and we'll be leveled up if I take this damage. And I'm just losing to a lot of like overwhelm value. So, okay, I think we see the line. No. Okay, I was wondering what we were gonna do. Okay, so we ended up using the quicksand instead. I guess that's also okay. We keep the drop border to kind of hit their other stuff while still trading. The Jinx, like, I wish I had the Ekko here, right? I wish I had the Ekko here. But we ended up throwing the Ekko away by not attacking properly. And opponent ends up punishing us here even further by having the Fury, right? So we're just throwing everything away. We threw the Ekko away, and now we also just threw our Voice of the Risen away. And I'm just like, well, at this point, I'm kind of just done, right? Like, at this point, I threw everything away that I shouldn't have. And I don't see how I can potentially win this anymore if the opponent gets their units to kind of punish us with. So we can go for the Ekko next turn. And we do have this Jinx, right? That could potentially give us the draw. But at this point, I'm like, okay, well, if the opponent has an Ornn, we lose the game, right? Because they'll have the Scout. If they have Ornn, we lose the game. If they have another Freeze, we lose the game. If they have anything, we lose the game, right? So, 2 big misplays. You never want to put your Ekko and your boys into risk. And I didn't see that. I didn't really play around that the way that I should have. Opponent gets the overwhelm and gets the draw. We have the Chrono Break. But what is the Chrono Break giving us when our units are not really that strong? Now, I can attack here. Like, I could attack and just bait the opponent into blocking with the overwhelm. And just play the Mystic. And just hope that the opponent doesn't have a Sky Splitter. I think at this point, I have to just go for it this way. Because if the opponent has the Sky Splitter, I'm always losing anyways. And we also have this Chrono Break anyways. So if they have the Sky Splitter, we lose. So yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of losing on the next attack here, right? So I'm like, I want to look for my drop borders to block with. I want to look for a quicksand. Opponent throws the Jats down. So now we have all this overwhelm attack. And the problem here is that the overwhelm from the Jats is on the equipment. So even if we top deck a quicksand here, we will not be able to take the overwhelm away from the Jats. And I'm like, well, man, like, this is not great. So we go like this. We do get all our stuff, right? We get all our blockers. And we're just going to go ahead and just kill this to buy ourselves a little bit more time. And I'm like, okay, well, if I don't get the quicksand, I just lose. If I don't get this quicksand, I just lose, right? And even with the quicksand, I think we still lose. But the quicksand lets me stop that second overwhelm unit. And that's what's important here, that I can stop that second overwhelm unit. So I'm counting in my head. Jats can get up to 8 right here. And I'm looking, I'm showing you guys, right? The overwhelm happens with the weapon. So because the weapon has the overwhelm, the quicksand will not remove the overwhelm from the Jats weapon. So the opponent gets combat Kirk. We have this quicksand for the other unit. We can have 3, 5, 7. Yeah, we can play the Jinx out as well, which is, yeah, that's fine. Because we have enough to play Jinx. We can play the Jinx, the quicksand, and also the Chrono Break and be okay. So I'm like, well, crap. The opponent has to, if the opponent puts a scout on another unit, they have five equipment and a big jazz. They end up not putting the scout on another unit, which I thought was weird. But even like this, we still die, right? Because the overwhelm from the jazz is dealing 6 damage. So the jazz overwhelm is dealing 6 damage.
Well, you had a future.
No matter which unit we block with. So in my head, I'm like, well, I need to like block with everything, right? So we can go quicksand. So we know that the overwhelm from the jazz doesn't matter. So I think the quicksand instead goes into the impact. Because whether we do the quicksand on the jazz or we do the quicksand on the other guy, it's still gonna be -1 damage, right? So we go like this, and this brings us exactly to 7 damage. Because we're taking 6. Wait, hold on. Am I losing my math here? Why are we taking 7? 9 minus 3 is 6. I threw the game. The impact doesn't get removed by the quicksand. I just realized I had a hunch that I did something wrong in this turn. And I just saw it. So the opponent goes for catch, and the catch hits the one here. So they have the catch, and that's exactly what they needed. Now, if we remember looking at Jats, right? Jats gets +1/+1 for each equipped ally this round. And the Larvicatia was not... Okay, I didn't throw anyways. The Larvicatia was not forged. The Larvicatia was not forged, while the Scout equipment was forged. So even if I did the quicksand correctly on the Jats to do -1 damage, and on the overwhelm, and we would have been able to survive by 2 HP, it wouldn't have mattered, because the moment that the opponent puts that equipment... No, it had to be. I threw, because if the opponent puts the equipment on the Jats, the Scout equipment, they lose the overwhelm, because the Jats will be hit by the quicksand. So I could have actually survived this turn with 1 HP. As soon as I threw that quicksand, and I knew that was like... Because when I threw the quicksand here and here, I expected myself to live at 2 HP. So then when I saw that I was only living at 1, I was like, what did I do wrong? But we were so focused on the overwhelm equipment from Jats that we forgot that the impact is also an equipment. So the impact still happens. Because if we put the quicksand on Jats and this one, this one loses the overwhelm completely, so it doesn't matter. This Jats will have lost -1 power, and if the opponent goes for the catch and puts the Scout equipment on the Jats will have lost the overwhelm, because they lose the overwhelm equipment, and because he has quicksand, it will have lost the natural overwhelm that the Jats has. So that was the play. If we go for the quicksand here on the right 2 units, we will actually survive. We would have actually survived at 1 HP, and then we could have gone Chrono Break, and the opponent only has 2 units, right? So the opponent only has 2 units left, and we have this Chrono Break, and the opponent does have the Jats. The opponent will still have been able to kill the Jats and the Ekko, right? So the opponent will have still had this catch to be able to kill the Ekko, as well as they would have been able to block with the Jats, because the Jats would have had all the health. And they would have been able to block this one as well. So they would have been able to still kill both my champions, and they are 14 HP. So maybe we still don't win this game anyways, right? Like, even if we survive here, I just kind of trying to console myself. Because I don't think we have enough damage, even with all the units that we bring back, to be able to kill them over the span of 2 turns. So we end up getting our last there with the Ekko. So then we know now that we're down to just having to beat this Warden of the Tribe twice. Now, to be fair, I wasn't too upset, because obviously our whole goal with that lineup is to beat Warden of the Tribes multiple times. So I'm like, okay, you know, we lost it, but we've been winning this matchup all day long. So let's just run it again. Let's run it again. Let's see what happens. We have the Rakai, we have the Feral Presence. We're in a good position. We should keep the Presence, right? Yeah, so that's great. We even have the Time Trick here. So we have all three of our predicts. So now we're only looking for Ekko and Voice of the Risen, and we should be in a good position. Oh man, I can't believe I threw that last game, but that's fine. That's fine. It happens. So we get Forsaken Bakai here. We don't see anything that we want, but we do go ahead and take that one, that landmark, so that we're able to have more board presence, because we don't really have a lot of units in our hand right now. So we do want to see like all these units, so that when we have the Voice of the Risen, we have some value. So we end up doing the Ancient. We still don't see anything. I wonder if it was correct to skip there, by the way. I wonder if it was correct to skip there. Because I feel like, okay, even if we don't skip there, maybe we should have gone Time Trick here first. So at this point, I'm looking for Ekko, right? I'm looking for Ekko, and I'm looking for the Voice of the Risen. And we're not getting either one of them. We should have always Time Trick before we did the Forsaken Bakai, right? Because that way we could have gotten what we predicted from this Forsaken Bakai after. And I keep making that misplay, right? I keep making that misplay with Ekko Jinx. And that's showing my inexperience with this deck, right? Like, I keep making that misplay where I'm not doing the proper... Like, I'm not doing the proper ordering, right? I'm not doing the proper ordering with my predicts. Which is a little bit frustrating on my part, because I know that I could do better. But I'm just, like, completely forgetting. And then, we make a second misplay here. We make a second misplay here and actually block with this Ekko. And at this point, I just made another misplay, right? And I think I'm just frustrated about how the last game went. Like, I'm still tilted about how the last game ended. That I'm just, like, playing without thinking, right? I'm just like, whatever. So, I just gave away another... I just gave away an Ekko. So, I literally just broke cardinal rule number 2 when playing Ekko Jinx. Which is, don't give away your champions, right? And I did the same thing 2 games in a row. I did it last turn with Jack's Orm, and I did it this turn again. I don't know what happened between the earlier matches and today and this match against Vatanico, but it's like I just completely had a brain fart and I forgot how to actually play this deck, right? So opponent goes for the Poke Stick, so the Gnar gets leveled up. I'm afraid to play Ekko here, because if I play Ekko, I'm losing to a Cataclysm or a single combat, so at least I'm mindful of that this turn. We still don't have the Voice of the Risen. So, what happens here? And I think what was throwing me off as well is that most people playing this Warden deck are playing Sky Splitter. Matonical is one of the few that actually plays Form Up. But we knew that. We played them last match as well. So we knew that Matonical plays Form Up and not Sky Splitter. So there's no excuse for me to have blocked that, knowing that I could have lost to that Form Up. But again, we completely misplay it. And we just end up kind of taking too much, kind of giving away our key units, right? Opponent gets this big Jarvan that's buffed up twice. If we block here, we're letting the Jarvan get another level up trigger. So blocking here doesn't make sense. So we just go like this. We'll play this Ekko. Unfortunately, the opponent's Jarvan is so strong because he had that extra health that if they go for... They could actually... Okay, we get the Voice of the Risen. If they have a Cataclysm here, I actually get super punished. But I have to go for the Predict, right? Okay, so no Cataclysm at least. Gives me some outs. So now I'm like, okay, well, we've been throwing away this game. But now we have the Voice of the Risen. We have the Quicksand. We have a lot of great value here to kind of push a lot of damage. Opponent does have 10 mana though. So if they do have this Harsh Winds, I'm in trouble. So if they have a Harsh Winds or any other freeze, I'm in trouble. But I feel like I have to go for it. Like, I feel like at this stage in the game, I have to just go for it. Because next turn, we're going to get hit by Warding of the Tribes. It's already about to be turn 8. So if I'm not putting pressure and forcing them to block here, the Warding of the Tribes is just going to blow us up. Not attacking completely signifies that... And not attacking with the boys tells the opponent that I actually don't have the thing, right? So... Opponent ends up finding the Gnar anyway, so they end up blocking us here. and we end up being pretty sad. We do have a couple of blockers that are coming down. There's no reason for me not to predict here. Yeah, you go for Feral Presence and see what you get. Clocking is good because clocking lets me search for the Chrono Break. So this is gonna be the big Warden turn, right? I'm in a good position though, where I could technically survive the Warden turn because of the Quicksand. So we can go Quicksand into Chrono Break and maybe get some value, but we don't hit the Chrono Break here. What I'm thinking is, if I pick the Tantric costs 1. So I have enough mana to play this Tantric, play the Quicksand, and still be able to find our stuff, right? So we go Quicksand here and here. And just block everywhere, and just like at this point we have to play as if we're gonna find the Chrono Break, right? We're saying, hey, we're gonna find the Chrono Break and soften up your units as much as we can. But even if we find the Chrono Break here, this attack is gonna be like so difficult for us to actually get anything through. So we'll go ahead and take this. Boom, 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 boom. The Ekko is able to attack through everything, so it's gonna be like Chrono Break or bust. We have 2 chances to find this Chrono Break, and we missed the first one. We skip, we don't get it. We go Tantric again, and we miss the second one. We skip, and we don't get it. So, okay, we got it. Oh, we got it with the skip. Okay, I actually completely forgot about that. So we actually got it with the skip. So we have this Chrono Break here. The problem is that if we attack with this Ekko, the opponent can still block it with the Warden. So we probably just attack with the Elusive. If the opponent has a Cataclysm, they can kill my voices. And that's exactly what I end up finding. So like any option that I had in this game just got completely obliterated when the opponent had this Cataclysm to follow up with. If I had played correctly all those turns ago and kept that Ekko alive, we could potentially have more pressure, right? But again, I think I was still rattled by the way that I lost against the Jat's Ornn, that I just didn't play correctly. I ended up playing too fast, right? That last Saturday, I also had somewhere that I needed to be after I played the games. So I was also trying to play fast, but that's no excuse for us playing not cleanly, right? So this looks to me like the first loss, the one loss that we got in the Runeterra Open. So this is the reason why we went 9-1 and not 9-0. So yeah, because at this point we can attack with Ekko and the opponent can just block with the Warden. We fought the voices. Not even okay. So the opponent also had the harsh winds, so it didn't matter. And I'm just like, okay, you know, harsh winds. I'm just gonna surrender. You got it. You can kind of see here. I rage quit. I surrender, and I start the recording. Like I was like, yeah, you know, you got it. Whatever. We lost the game. Let's move on. So at this point, again, I'm 6-1. So I'm 6-1. I need to go 9-1 or 9-2 to make it to day 2. At the very least, I need to go 8-3 to have a chance at the tiebreaker. So I'm like, okay. Let's restart my mind and go on to the next match. So in the next match, we end up going against Yang Sarah. So if you guys don't know, Yang is one of the writers for Mastering Runeterra and also a really, really good player as well. And Yang is going for one of the tribes, which is beautiful. This one I see. Bane Aatrox is also good. It's also what we want to see. We kind of do well against the massive decks because the Nidalee deck can get bigger. And then the Nidalee Gnar, which we always ban. They ban our Ekko, so I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna go with the Elusives. So they ban our Ekko, and we go with the Elusives. And the opponent starts with the Bane Aatrox deck, right? So we haven't played Elusive in a little bit. Again, most people are banning the Elusives, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's go like this. We have an Acorn, so I'm okay keeping the Shock Blast because we know we're gonna reduce this Shock Blast to 5, and we have the attack token on 1. And this hand looks amazing. Like already I feel bad for Yang. Because I'm like as a Teemo player, this is the hand that I want to see. Like the Acorn is giving us value with the Shock Blast. We can go for the Kingly Duo next turn, right? And then have all this, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So you always play Gringlet Duo first, because if you get another one drop, you're gonna play all 3 1-drops. And we get another 1-drop. So I'm like, do I go Gringlet Duo or do I go triple 1-drop? And if we go triple 1-drop, let's see. So I think I'm doing the math here, right? So the way I see it, if I go triple 1-drop, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, and this goes up to 5, right? So this is 4 plus 5 plus 1, so that's going to be 10. If I go Gringlet Duo, this one goes up to 3, we have 2 damage. And then we play another Acorn, this one goes to 4, this one goes to 3, and we have another Acorn. So we're 1 damage off. We have 1 less damage if we play the Gringlet Duo versus playing all 3 of our units. And the other benefit here is that we put the Shrooms into the opponent's deck, and we also have this Blade Scout to actually have a blocker for next turn if we need it, because we don't care about giving away the Blade Scout. Maybe I didn't do the math. Maybe I actually didn't do the math and misplayed, but nope, I end up playing the right play here, which is just playing the Teemo. Because those Shrooms could actually matter, right? Those Puff Caps from the Teemo actually can end up mattering. Opponent ends up just killing the Gringlet Duo anyways, so it ends up not mattering. But we still end up just pushing a ton of damage here, and our Shock Blast goes all the way down to 3 costs, right? So our Shock Blast goes down to 3 costs. We have another Gringlet Duo in our hand, right? So we're just chilling. We're just chilling here. And I'm like, well, we have this Shock Blast. We can do it right now, or we can just play Gringlet Duo. We have the blocker, right? We have the blocker. So we can just chill here. I don't really care about the Bane. Like, the opponent's not gonna attack with us with the Bane. They could pass here, which I think it would have been better for us to play that Gringlet Duo. But here we can just go like this. We have this Kinku's Call. We have this Disciple. Like, this is where the drinks are made of with this thing. Like, opponent can have this Scout attack, and we're just gonna block it with the Blaze Scout. Again, that's why we play this Blaze Scout. And we can literally play the Disciple and the Kinku, or we can play the Shock Blast and anything else that we want. Interesting enough, opponent goes for the Cataclysm first, which is... Why did they go Cataclysm first? I guess because they can go... Yeah, I know why. Because they can go Cataclysm to kill one of my units. They can go here to get the Scout attack, and then they can attack again. The problem is that I don't care about this. We're just gonna, like, this Shock Blast is gonna literally cost me 1. Like, after all of this is said and done, this Shock Blast is gonna cost me 1. We're not even gonna block, because we're gonna just go Kinkus here. And it means that we can attack with all our units, and the opponent has to actually block. Right? Like, I'm down to take that damage, and they have to block. So we get another burn. We go like this. We put the Bastilla at the end. Opponent has to block with their Bane. And after they block with their Bane, the Shock Blast costs 1, remember? So opponent, we're just gonna go Shock Blast into their Scout unit, and then have the blowback with the Disciple plus another card that I draw to do the last 3 damage against the opponent. So, oh wait, no, okay. So next turn. I forgot that the blowback gets saved by the discount, not the Shock Blast. But anyways, either way, we're chilling here, right? Either way, we're chilling here because we have the burn that we need, so we can just go Shock Blast on the Scout and then blowback, and that's game. So we have the lethal, right? The only way that we don't have lethal here is if the opponent has 8 rods, and even if the opponent has 8 rods, it's only healing them for 4. Because we can Shock Blast the Scout unit and then just have all my Elusives to attack with again next turn. So, end up winning the game pretty easily because Teemo does Teemo things. So I'm up 1-0 against Yang. So then let's see how the second matchup goes. I mean, it's Nidalee against Warden or Bane. Either one of these matchups is good for us, because if we get the Tycoon, our value limitation is just gonna get so, like, our Tycoon is gonna get so big if we have the value limitation combo. Jan decides to go for Bane again, and we see the Chief Knock attack, and we have like the Bristlehawk, which is a good unit early on. We have the All-Terrain Trooper, which can let me pull their Broadwind, and we get the Tycoon as well. So now literally all we're looking for is value limitation. So if we get this value limitation, I'm just chilling. Like, I'm big chilling here. So I'm down to give them this Bristlehawk if they want it. No, I'm not. I'm not down to do that, right? Because I have the Ultimate Trooper. Yeah, I have the Ultimate Trooper next turn, which means that I can just pull their Broadwind and get my Bristlehawk transformed. Yeah. So I'm glad I wasn't playing when this happened, because that would have been a big misplay. Because now we can go like this. Why don't I do it here? What's the reason for me not to transform and take that challenger out? I guess I ended up getting rewarded by playing it slow. We ended up top decking the Prowl. I think I still liked attacking. So we ended up getting rewarded by joining the Prowl. But I think I still like the idea of us having that attack. Here we probably want to just play Imitation. If Jang passes back, it actually would have been the correct play for Jang to pass back here, so that we don't play that Imitation. At this point, I'm like, well, sure, I'm just gonna play this Imitation. You do whatever you want. I think Jang also got so it's funny because Jang got thrown off by the fact that I didn't transform this last time. That they didn't play around the fact that this was actually the ambush. So I think Jang was like, what the heck would you not transform the last time if you had it? I don't know either, Jang. I don't know either. But he ended up working in our favor because Jang ended up getting baited by that. So now we're able to play this cheap knack attack here and start buffing this value imitation to get even bigger and bigger. So this is pushing like 6 damage if Jang decides to take it. They decide not to take it. So we only get to push 2. The problem that Jang is going to have is that unit from the valley is still going to be very strong, right? So we have enough for Prowl. So we can actually play this Shadow in the Bush, right? And it means that the Value Imitation card is going to be pretty big, especially with the Prowl to follow up with it. So they're going to just open attack here, which I think makes sense. Because they have the Scout attack. They have the Scout attack from the Tumble, right? The problem is that if they play the Scout attack with this Tumble, it's going to eat up their whole hand, right? So even if you play the Scout attack, you really don't have anything here that can really punish us. Except for like a catch. But I decide not to respect the catch. We have a second Value Imitation anyways. So if he has the catch, he has the catch. Because we have the second Value Imitation. They don't have the catch. We play the second Valley, and this is just game. Like, this is just game here, because if they attack with the next unit, we have this transform. And Jang is going to get punished by it. So we go like this, and then we can go Halunatis. And we actually want to play the Halunatis as a unit, because if we play it as a bush, we're not going to get the multiple Halunatis, right? So we go Halunatis here. And just get all this value from this Halunatis and just go super wide. We're able to pull their unit. And this is just game, because we're able to just pull their unit, and no matter, I guess they end up getting 2 blockers. But like, look how big this unit is, right? Look how big the first Halunatis is. So we can just attack with everything and just pull the vulnerable with our weakest unit, and we should be okay. So we didn't even need to get to the Tycoon turn, right? But if we would have gotten to that Tycoon turn, Ionia would have lost anyways. Because we did Tycoon and double Valley, it would have been okay. So a little bit disrespectful of me to not respect the catch, right? But because we had the Valley and had the Tycoon, I think it was okay, because we still have been in a really good position to have this really big unit. So we end up winning against Ionia. And again, right now we are 3, 6, 7, and 1. So in my head, I'm like, I just need to win 1 more. I win 1 more, and I put myself at the 8 and 3 and tiebreaker territory. If I win 2 more, then I just make it to day 2. So let's see how match number 8 ends up going. And in match number 8, we go against Angel, who's another really good player. And then similar to the matchup against Ionia, we end up going against Warden and also going against Bane. Now, I am thinking in my head, this is also a Warden deck. So I'm thinking in my head, should I just go against both Warden decks here? So I'm looking at the stats right now. That's why it's taking me a while. I was like, is it better for me to go against this or to go against the Bane? But I feel like I feel so good against that after that Ionia matchup that I think it's always better for me to just leave the Bane deck because I feel very confident that we can just kill it. And there you go. We end up doing the same thing. Angel bans my elusive instead of banning my Ekko like Yen did. So let's see how this matchup goes. We always start with Ekko gens. At least that's the way that I do it. Which is funny because now everybody's going to know that whenever they go against me, to always expect me to start with Ekko gens, right? So we'll go like this. What is happening? I guess he got glitched out. Got glitched out. So we'll go against the Warden matchup that we've been playing all day, and we have Ekko gens. Let's hope that we can play a little bit cleaner than we played against Matanico. So we have the Ekko and we have the Forsaken Bakai. So this looks very good for us already. This looks very good for us already. The Jinx is whatever. The Jinx is whatever. And no, you know, it's funny that we haven't seen a lot of games where we're having one with Jinx. So yeah, this Angel is giving me the emo. I respect it. What emo do I give him? Oh, that's whack. I could have chosen a much better emo. Come on. Come on, Sirturmund. You could have chosen a much better emo than that. I guess I didn't want to run out of time, right? Because I did have the attack token on one, so I didn't want to like slow roll him. We did kind of low roll a little bit by drawing that drop border as the first card in the game, but again, we have all this predicts. We have the pre-sense. So we're looking for one more predict here, right? We have the pre-sense. We're looking for one more predict here. This is another scenario where my inexperience with Ekko gens comes in. Never mind. Never mind. I didn't give myself enough credit, right? I was going to say, I thought I remembered myself open attacking without doing the pre-sense. You're always going to do the pre-sense first in case you get another drop border. But I was actually good enough to do it. I didn't give myself enough credit. I thought I was just going to open attack without the pre-sense. But we did do the right thing. We end up getting another pre-sense. We have this Ekko that's about to be leveled up. The beautiful thing about this pre-sense is that we're able to play it and still have access to quicksand. So we still have this access to the quicksand, and that feels really good, right? So I can just take this. We get another drop border. We don't get the Voice of the Risen, which is a little bit worrisome. The Mystic Shot can kill their 4-2 and also allow my Ekko to attack into them. Like, it allows me to beat like a Sky Splitter, right? Like, if the opponent has a Sky Splitter to get their tough unit to 6 HP, the Mystic Shot will get them back down. So, do I take this damage? No, I think I just ended up blocking. So, I don't know if blocking there is correct. I didn't want to take that much damage, but I also don't have the Voice of the Risen. So it didn't feel as bad to block, right? I think at this point I'm just praying that the opponent doesn't have Harsh Winds or a freeze, and they don't have it. They're down to 11, so they're down to 11, which is not a bad range to be if we want to finish up the game with Gens, which we have in our hand, and the Mystic Shot. We still have this Quicksand. We don't find the boys just yet. I think I should skip here.
All coming back to me now.
Wow, I ended up committing for the Mystic. So what that tells me is that I'm willing to just go for the burn, but then I end up putting the Mystic in the unit instead. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys? What? Why Mystic there? Because now they can put the quick attack on this unit. Yeah, and now you have this big quick attack unit. Huh. Okay, we have the corner break. We have the corner break, so we're good players. The opponent gets the Jarvan, and I always love this play. Like, I always love this play. Luckily for us, I remember that the Quicksand is a weapon. It's an equipment, so it's not gonna... I remember that that's actually an equipment, so it's not gonna actually kill the thing, right? Like, if I play the Quicksand, it wouldn't have actually removed the quick attack. So I'm glad that I ended up remembering that. We go like this. We get another Quicksand, but I think at this point we probably just want to play the Clockling, right? Or the Bakai. I guess the Bakai is also fine. We take this damage, and if we take this damage, this would be 11. That's the second Chrono Break? Whoa. What's the reason for us to not pick the second Chrono Break? What's the reason for us to not pick the second Chrono Break? I actually think that we need to kill that Overwhelm unit. I guess I just want to go wide. We should have blocked with Jinx there. Yeah, I don't want to be in a position where I'm losing to a Cataclysm. I guess it's a better block than Jinx, right? That's a better block than Jinx. That's a better block than Jinx. We get the Voice of the Risen finally, right? I guess that ends up being better than the Chrono Break, right? Picking the predict to get the voice ends up being better. We go like this. We can beat the Cataclysm with the Mystic. And we have the Chrono Break here anyways. Okay, so we just attack. We just attack and say Chrono Break. Alright, so this game ended up not being that interesting. I mean, I guess it was good, but like there's definitely a few awkward plays here that I should have made better. You know what I noticed as we showcase in this Runeterra Open bot review? If you look at the video from yesterday, we played so cleanly the first like 4 games. Like the first 3 to 4 matches, we played pretty cleanly in my opinion. And then as the day has gone on, I start playing more slappy, right? So I started playing more slappy, and especially more prevalent with this Ekko Jinx play. Now, spoiler alert, but when I lost in the top 64, I lost twice. I lost because Ekko Jinx lost twice, right? Unfortunately, I wasn't home to record that. I was playing, to be fair, I wasn't playing home. I had like a family event, right? So I had like a family event. So I was playing from mobile when I played the top 64. But I wouldn't be surprised if I just lost those Ekko games because I ended up misplaying the way that we're showing that we're misplaying today with Ekko Jinx. So just have to be a little bit more careful when I play those Ekko Jinx. So we won that first game pretty easily. And then we get the matchup against Spain again. So kind of similar to how we played against Young Sarah. So let's see how this matchup goes here. We have the Tycoon. We have this Prowl. We have the All-Terrain Trooper. I really like the All-Terrain Trooper because it lets me get the brow win, right? So that's what I was deciding here. We ended up not doing it, but we ended up getting a second one anyways. And yeah, I guess we can go like this. Like we pretty much have the same start that we had against Young Sarah, right? Where we have the Bristlehawk and we have the All-Terrain Trooper to kind of follow up after that. So we can go All-Terrain Trooper, transform it if we need to, and just get value that way. Okay, that quick attack is kind of annoying because obviously I can't block that right now. I should pass here. Because that way the opponent cannot play Bane. Because if they play Bane, we can actually tag the Bane with the All-Terrain Trooper. Come on. You have it. Thank you, Past Sirturmund. Past Sirturmund saw the line, right? Because the problem now is that the opponent can never develop Bane without just running head first into my stuff, right? I think we have to play this Bastaya. I mean, we do have this. Okay, wow. Wow. All right, I'm just gonna play Nidalee like this. This makes sense. Yeah, just play the Nidalee like that. Yeah, play the Nidalee like that, and I'm just gonna wait. We have the advantage, right? We don't have the value limitation, but we do have this Tycoon. So I think we have all the time in the world to do whatever we need to do. We can just go like this as well, and if the opponent wants to block with their units, that's fine. Because the only thing that punishes me here is like double form up, and we have the Prowl to beat the double form up. The other thing that punishes me is a single combat, right? Because that way they can kill the Nidalee. But we can't really stop that single combat anyways, and that's exactly what happened here. So boom, they get the single combat. It's kind of funny though, because they can actually put the quick attack equipment into this guy. By the way, I just realized that I'm glad that I didn't get the value limitation, because it's very likely that the opponent selected the removal here, right? So it's very likely that the opponent selected the landmark the landmark destroy with their scholar, right? So if we had the value limitation, we were still being in like an awkward spot. So at this point, I just telling myself, okay, we can just go for Tycoon, right? So I need to just survive and be able to just have Tycoon. I'm gonna go like this. I know that the opponent can drag this, right? What I was debating doing here, by the way, is going for the prow and transforming my Bastaya. If we go for the prow and transform our Bastaya, we will have more health than the Valor by 1. But the problem that going just up by 1 health means that we still lose into like a catch or a form up. So I end up just taking the damage, right? I should just take this damage. So what I should do here is just take this damage and play the second Bastaya. I don't like playing the all-terrain trooper. I guess it's fine. I guess it's not a big deal. Because the way that what I was thinking is like we could use the all-terrain trooper to transform next turn. Right? But I guess this ends up working out. We could also prowl this turn if we so choose to. Opponent has already used the scout attack, so this doesn't matter. Yeah, so we can prowl. But we're gonna have to prowl and transform to be able to kill this guy. Is that even worth it when we have vulnerable on it? I don't know that this is worth it. I think the opponent has vulnerable, which means that we can just kill it with the second. Like, the opponent have vulnerable on it, so we could just kill it with the second by pulling it next turn. Because the problem now is that I can play this Avenging Bastaya, but then I will not be able to actually play the Tycoon. Like, if I play the Tycoon, I won't have like a big unit. So again, just playing it a little bit too sloppy. I still think the Tycoon is the correct play. And I'm just going to pretend that the opponent doesn't have a form up to kill this Tycoon. So I'm going to say opponent doesn't have form up to kill this Tycoon. Or doesn't have a strike to kill the Tycoon when they go for the quick attack. We are taking a lot of damage, slowly but surely, because of this scout unit. Yeah, sure. I cannot challenge the scholar because then we lose the Tycoon. So this is interesting. Yeah, opponent gets the Bane level up. I still think I just win because I have the Tycoons. Like, my units are gonna get so much bigger than them. So because my units are getting so much bigger than this, I think I just win anyways. But it's definitely should have been a lot cleaner. This could have been a lot cleaner than what we're seeing right now. The beautiful thing here is that we don't have to play Tycoon this turn. We also end up getting the Quicksand. So we don't have to play Tycoon. We can just go Pyrophant or we can go Halunatis and be in a good position. They do have the form up. Okay, hold up. This form up came from the right side of their deck, of their hand. So if they did that last turn, they could have just got them at the Tycoon. Why not do it last turn? Why not do it last turn? Oh my goodness. I think we just got away with murder here. Opponent had the form up last turn to actually kill my Tycoon. They could go for the strike with the Bane here to still kill it. So they could still go for that strike here to just kill it. Right? Like if they had the Bane strike, they could strike with their Bane, hitting 4 into my Tycoon. That's so weird that they didn't play the form up. What would this care about? That's interesting. So they did this? That's like... I think they're so scared of losing the Bane here. But if they strike here with the Bane, the thing stays alive. They don't have Scout anymore. So I know that they cannot pull me, so I'm just gonna say Tycoon again, right? We have enough mana to play the second Tycoon, and then next turn just go for the Pyrophant and just have this big elephant that just wins us the game. So I think opponent definitely had the win in this game. If they committed to that form up with their Valor right away. They might have also forgotten that the quicksand got rid of the scout, and maybe they're thinking that they could have the scout, that they could have the stuff here. But like again, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's free damage here, right? It's free damage here. You push 3 damage. I'm not blocking, right? Because I don't want to lose to the strike. If opponent has the strike with Bane, they can still strike my unit. I guess I am blocking. I say, okay, never mind. I guess I'm blocking. That's a bad block. That's a bad block. I guess it doesn't matter, right? If the opponent has the strike, I guess it's fine, right? Because if the opponent has the Bane strike, they would have done it. They would have done it on the first attack, and they also will be able to kill one of my units regardless, right? So if they have the strike, they can kill one of my Tycoons regardless. So no matter what, I'm losing one Tycoon. So I guess that's fine. So then here we just go Pyrophant, and that just wins us the game. We can actually go, like, I was thinking we needed to go for the vulnerable first, but we end up having the vulnerable already somewhere else, and we end up winning the game. That was kind of like a weird game. That was kind of like a weird game from both my end and my opponent's end. But Angel actually also made it to the top 64. I remember seeing their list in the bracket. So, you know, even though they lost here, they ended up winning out and getting their 9 wins that they needed. So at this point, we're 8-1, and I'm like, yes, we at least get the tiebreaker. But if we can win this match, we get in for sure. So let's see how the last match of the Runeterra Open goes for us. Let's see. So we can skip here. No reason for us to wait in the queue. Oh, well, this got like a long queue. Wow, look at that. It was 2 minutes. So the last matchup here is gonna be against Iriham. And they're playing Wildfire, which is the first Wildfire deck that I see today. They're playing Warden of the Tribes Nora and Warden of the Tribes Regular. And again, we want to see this, right? We want to see this. So my reasoning here, by the way, we have good matchups against this deck. The only deck that doesn't have a good matchup against Wildfire is my Teemo deck. So Teemo deck does very bad against Wildfire. But Teemo also does bad against Nora because the opponent has this Pythos, they have this elusive blockers. So I choose to actually ban the Nora, and the opponent does me a favor. Opponent bans my Teemo. And if the opponent didn't ban Teemo, I think they will have a much better chance to actually win this match. But they banned the Teemo, and then we get the same matchup that we've been seeing so often in this video, in these 2 videos. Ekko Jinx versus Warden of the Tribes. So let's see how messy our Ekko Jinx is this time around when this is our 9th match of the day, right? I do love the new format where you can play your matches at any time because it means that the matches go a lot quicker. But man, it's still a hassle to do 9 matches, right? So we're gamers here. We get the drop border right away. We can go for this Chronomancer. I like the second Ancient Prep. Yeah, I like the second Ancient Prep. It's a cheaper predict, right? So it's a cheaper predict here. I'm a little bit concerned about the Broadwind because, again, it's a unit that we cannot punish with the Scrying Sands. So it's a unit that we cannot punish with the Scrying Sand. We can go for the Ancient Prep. And then the Presence can let me level up. Okay, the good thing here is that the opponent cannot attack with the Scout, right? Okay, so I end up choosing the Mystic, right? So in my head, I chose the Mystic. And the reason I chose the Mystic there, and I'm glad that I did this, is because it lets us beat the single combat on the Broadwind. And if opponent attacks like this, it's even better for us. Because then the Broadwind will not have the health to be able to kill our Ekko. So I'm like, yes, please give me the attack. Please give me the attack. I know you want it. I know you want it. Give me this attack. And they gave us the attack. So Now, they did only push 1 damage, right? Which is not a big deal. But again, this allows me to play this Ekko. I have access to the leveler with the presence and Mystic Shot to be able to punish the opponent. So it's so good for us here, because now we have the Scrying Sands to beat the you know, like, imagine how much different this turn will be if the Broadwing was at 3 health. Like, if that Broadwing was at 3 health, this matchup will be so much, this turn will be so much different. Because what's gonna happen right now is that the opponent's gonna be forced to have exactly Sky Splitter. Because if it's form up, we can punish the form up with a Mystic Shot. If it's Sky Splitter, they can still kill my Ekko. And they find exactly Sky Splitter, so they're able to kill my Ekko here. And that's the reason why the opponent pulled the 1 health, the 1 power unit, instead of pulling the 2 power unit. So the opponent planned around the level up, and opponent planned around the level up and played around the Mystic Shot by pulling the 1 power unit. So that was really good, really well played by Iriham. But still, like, I feel like you would have kept your Broadwing alive as well if you didn't go for it that way, right? I guess it doesn't matter to keep the Broadwing alive, so it's fine. At this point, I end up choosing the Mystic Shot, and in my head, I'm thinking, I just want to level up this Jinx. In my head, I'm like, I'm just going to pick the Mystic Shot. It's the cheapest thing that I can see, and that allows me to level up the Jinx sooner rather than later. But, you know, the game was just wanted us to have the Ekko, so we end up getting another Ekko. So sure, right? So now the Jinx level up looks even farther away because we end up getting the second Ekko. We get all the value in the world right here to do whatever we want. I think I should block here. I think I should always block and play for the Scrying Sands. I should give myself 2 chances to find the Chrono Break. It also means that we put that. I should have actually picked the Elusive, by the way. It also means that their stuff goes below 6 health, so now we can attack with it with Ekko. Oh, I guess it didn't matter because we knew we were gonna predict away. That's probably why I just chose whatever. Yeah, I guess it didn't matter. If I go for Presence, I'm committing myself to really trying to level up this Jinx. If I go Quicksand, I protect myself against a Jarvan later on, and anything else that the opponent might have, right? So I think Quicksand is the safest play. We attack with everything here. Opponent could have a Harsh Winds if they want to and kill this Ekko. Which, again, is kind of annoying, but, you know. We technically can save the Ekko with the Quicksand. For some reason, opponent decided not to block, which tells me that they have access to Jarvan, right? So the lack of block tells me that they have access to Jarvan. I'm very surprised that if they had another unit that they didn't block, but it is what it is. We get the Chrono Break. So we get the Chrono Break. I'm going to put the Ancient Prep down right now. I'm going to pick the Presence so that we can level up this Jinx quick. And then we're going to give it the Jinx as well. So we have Chrono Break. We have Quicksand. If the opponent has Jarvan, it's not going to matter because the Quicksand just punishes that. And we can literally just sacrifice our units. And this is game. An opponent top deck the Jarvan. So opponent top deck the Jarvan. So we can go Quicksand. Yeah, we just go Quicksand here and there. Yep. We block like this, block like this. I'm blocking the cheaper. I'm blocking the. Like, I want to see if the opponent actually gets baited into playing like a buff here to kill the Jinx. They end up not taking the bait. So we can just go Chrono Break, and we have this Mystic Shot to kill Jarvan as well. But I want to see if the opponent has like a second Jarvan or something. Actually, we know that it's not a second Jarvan, right? We know it's not a second Jarvan. But I'm just going to go ahead because by doing the Mystic Shot first, it means that we can play around single combat, right? Because if the opponent wants to play single combat, they will have to single combat right there. So then we get the Chrono Break, we get everything back, and that's the game. Opponent has no single combat, opponent has nothing else. And those Mystic Shots, that Mystic Shot that I picked all those turns ago, ends up coming clutch and getting me my first win. And right now, we're super high. We're one game. We're one freaking game away from making it to day 2. And it's going to be our specialty. Nidalee. Right? We haven't lost a single game with Nidalee all day long. And once again, is Nidalee versus Jarvan Gnar. How bored are you guys of this matchup? That's all I played. Unfortunately, on the top 64, I didn't run into Jace or Warden of the Tribes. The opponent was playing Jats Ornn and Nidalee, and the third deck it was Nidalee Gnar. So I think I banned the Nidalee Gnar for sure. But like, imagine if I had played Warden again in the top 64, and maybe would have made it farther. But anyways, here we don't play Nidalee because exactly this reason, the Broadwind. I end up telling myself, okay, well, if you're gonna give me the Broadwind for free, let me just take it right now. And we'll go like this. So I'm like, okay, you know, you want to give me your Broadwind for free? Reduce your units on your board? I'll take it, right? Ideally, I want to play cheap Nakotak here. So we can play cheap Nakotak and then have the Nidalee. Yeah, we just go cheap Nakotak, Nidalee next turn. Yada, 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 do our thing, etc., etc., right? Yeah, let's try to see if we can level up this Nidalee. Because if we can level up the Nidalee, we're also chilling. There is a punish here, right? So the punish here is gonna be the opponent having access to Sky Splitter. So if they have access to Sky Splitter here, we end up actually losing against their stuff. So I'm just gonna go like this and just chill for now, because I don't want to lose to that Sky Splitter, because it would take him to 6 HP, right? So in my head I'm like, oh man, like that's really not a good way to do this. We could potentially go for the Changelings first. If opponent gives me this is even better, because he lets me put the vulnerable on their scout. Yeah, like I don't know about this attack by the opponent. Right? I don't know about this attack by the opponent. I probably should block with the hug to put it low enough that it can die to an R. Is that what I end up doing? Unfortunately, the Nidalee's not gonna... I don't think the Nidalee gets to level up here. I think I remember that the opponent actually single combat this Nidalee. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm confusing my games, I guess. Yeah. Oh wow. This is. Oh man. This is just. I'm just chilling here. Alright. So we just go like this. We just go like this. We have the Nidalee level up. You know, the Nidalee level up. She goes to 6 HP. Two impact trigger. Opponent doesn't have any way to kill this Nidalee. We can go for the Bastaya here to protect the Nidalee against like any strike. Like, I'm just chilling here. We even have this value imitation now, so we can go like this. At this point, I'm like, okay, if they have single combat, they can't kill us, right? So I was debating playing this Gnar, but then I opted to not play it and just play the Gnar afterwards, so that we can actually get the so that we can actually get like this value from like potentially trying to level up the Nidalee one more time, right? So my thought is like, by doing it this way, I can have the Nidalee start slowly leveling up again. If I play the Gnar first, opponent could punish it with a Sky Splitter, right? The single combat, okay. We should Bastaya here. We should have Benjen Bastaya here. Why don't we have Benjen Bastaya here? He saves the Changelings. Ooh. I don't know about that. So now our punish here is going to be Gnar, right? Gonna be the Jarvan. So if opponent has Jarvan, I kind of get Mega Punish. I get a Mega Punish here. But it doesn't really matter, right? We can just go for this value imitation now and the cheap Knack attack. And we still get all the value in the world. Yeah, so the opponent gets their Jarvan. We can actually just block here. Like, I could definitely play last turn better, but it ends up not mattering, because once we get this second cheap Knack attack and the value imitation, opponent has no board presence. right? So opponent has no board presence, and there's nothing that they can do to stop this, right? So we just go like this. We go Chief Knack attack. Because what's going to happen here is that we can play the Pyrophant. We have exactly enough mana to play this Pyrophant as a regular unit. Get the Transform from the Valley. And still have access to the Avenging Bastilla or the Quicksand. So either way that we do it, we're completely fine. Right? And I think here we should go for the Avenging Bastilla. Okay, opponent doesn't even pull the right one anyways. So I guess I end up not even using it. Yeah. So opponent doesn't even pull like any unit that they can kill. So I just say, okay, I guess we get it, right? Because here I can just press okay, and maybe the opponent is setting up for like a single combat. But then with the single combat, they get punished by the Avenging Bastilla anyways, right? So the curve ended up working out perfectly there at the end, where we had it ready to be able to protect them. And there you go. We end up going 9-1 and end up making it to day 2. Again, unfortunately, on day 2, it was a Sunday. If some of you remember, last year, I took a break from YouTube for like a week because my grandmother had passed away. And that was actually like a year ago on last Saturday. So it was on September 30th when the Runeterra Open was happening. My family decided not to do anything that Saturday because a lot of my family members work. And instead, we were going to do like a mass on Sunday and everything. So on Sunday, I went to mass at like 12. I did mass, and then we all went to lunch together. And the games for the top 64 started at 1:55. So when the game started, I was in the middle of like eating with my family, obviously celebrating my grandmother's life. So obviously, I just reran the same lineup. I ended up just playing super fast. And again, as we've seen in this video, that probably was one of the reasons that I lost. Because both games that I lost was on Ekko Jinx. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was because I somehow misplayed with Ekko Jinx with how fast we were trying to play. But again, it's fine. We got to at least make it to day 2 and participate. And I get to showcase this video to you all. So I think it was still worth it for me. And it still got me those 2 points potentially towards Worlds. But I will need to do really well in the next Runeterra Open for us to actually have a chance of making it to Worlds. Well, anyway, thank you for sticking around with me for this long. These videos have been a little bit late. Instead of 5 o'clock, have been 6 o'clock because they have been taking me a while to record and say a lot longer than our usual videos. But I hope that you all enjoyed kind of like this breakdown of my matches in the Runeterra Open. If you guys did, make sure to like the video and subscribe to us, right? We post LOR videos every single day. I appreciate your support. You can also find us on Twitch at Twitch.tv. We stream every now and then. There's going to be a stream coming up soon, I promise. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.